Hey there, it's CJ Willie and I'm cracking a pack today. After showing my athletic side in my first video with a 1987 Donruss baseball wax pack, I'm showing off my nerdy side today. As I explained in my initial video, I grew up reading every sci-fi fantasy novel I could find. This led me into developing interest in Magic the Gathering. Since it is a trading card game that involves cracking packs, well, needless to say, I like cracking as many Magic the Gathering packs as I do playing the game. So what do I have to crack today? Nothing too exciting. Today's pack to crack is Theros Beyond Death. It's the newest release from Magic the Gathering. So far, it's only been out a couple of weeks. Before I crack the pack, just a little info. Just like the baseball packs, I will give a little commentary on each card. Here's what you need to know. I don't play any official tournaments. I don't play any Friday night Magic events or any other store-sponsored events. I have done maybe 3 or 4 pre-release events over the past 7 years. I am mainly a casual, and let me stress the word casual player. I have a group of friends that plays Magic the Gathering as well. We get together every once in a while and have a Magic game night. Whenever a new set comes out, like Theros Beyond Death, we buy a box and we draft a couple of rounds. We just have fun with it. It's what you would call true kitchen table Magic. So my commentary will be focused from a very, very casual Magic player viewpoint. I think it's a very unique spin on rating Magic cards. So hopefully you won't get too upset or confused if my rating doesn't fall in line with the pros, hardcore grinders, or anyone trying to build an expensive deck for Legacy, Modern, Pioneer, or Standard. With that little bit of explanation, after I crack the pack, as usual, I'm going to choose the best card out of the pack. Maybe you might agree, or maybe you won't, but at least it'll be fun. Without further ado, let's crack this pack. All right, first card out is Sleep of the Dead. It's a sorcery. You can tap target creature, doesn't untap during its creature's next untapped step. The escape mechanic was really, really fun. With this particular card, I played it once or maybe twice. It's not really a game changer. I suppose in like some sort of like control deck, it might do some work, but I didn't really like it all that much. Okay, next card, Aspect of Manticore. This is pretty fun. It's a little expensive, I think, for 3 mana, but in games that I played that were a little bit more aggro, you flash the card in, gives the creature first strike until end of turn, it wins combat. It really drops off after initial combat, but it was a fun card to play. Moss Viper. Really, really, really love this card. 1/1 for 1 green, Death Touch. Is a beast when it comes to stopping aggro decks. I really enjoyed it quite a bit. I've already made a little bit of a goof. I noticed that I grabbed too many cards at once. Omen of the Sun. This one was okay. I don't think it was as great to play as Omen of the Death or Omen of the Sea. This particular one, I think it was a surprise for blockers, but in a white deck, I just didn't see that it did all that much. All right, next card, Blight Breath Catalebus. I really like this card. When I was playing against my friends, I ran a mono black deck, and I featured this card. And in our round, I went undefeated. This card would come down on turn 6, and because I had enough devotion, it pretty much wiped out the best creature that was on the other side. I really, really liked it. Next card, Thaumaturge's Familiar. It's an artifact. It's a flyer. It's a 1/3. You get a scry when it enters the battlefield. Wasn't impressed with this card at all. It seemed to me, for the mana cost, you would want to play it in an aggressive deck. I tried it in a couple of flyer decks. It was just too much mana for what it did. I played it in a defensive deck. Once again, it just didn't impress. Next card, Venomous Hierophant. This card is an all-star. In a mono black deck, it does exactly what you want it to do. Enters the battlefield as a 3/3 Death Toucher. Stops everything you can imagine. The best part about the card is you put the top 3 cards in your graveyard. It fueled Escape, I comboed it with the Acolyte, I can't remember off the top of my head, the black-green uncommon. Returned an awesome permanent card to my hand. This card was a key common in a mono black deck, even in a control deck or any deck that was running Escape. Next card, Bronze Sword. Because I will not spend that much time on this card. I didn't even have the urge to play it. Anyone that I've played against it or that they drafted it, they didn't even want to play it. The equip cost way too high. Equip cost a 3 to get +2/+0. No, not a good card at all. Next card, Satyr's Cunning for 1 red. Surprisingly, I thought this card was garbage until I played it. I played it in a red-white deck, and another time I played it in a black-red deck. I could create infinite satyrs, and in one game, one of my friends put the black enchantment on a creature that made me sacrifice a creature at my upkeep. All I did is I just kept bringing this back and sacrificing the satyr that I'd created the previous turn so that I didn't have to sacrifice one of my better creatures. It wasn't an all-star, but it was a great card. Next card, Hero of the Pride. This one kind of has the pseudo-heroic mechanic that they decided not to bring back heroic, but there's a few white and red creatures that have this kind of pseudo-heroic ability. It wasn't a bad card. In an aggressive deck, I found that it did what I wanted it to do. I'd play it, I'd target it, all my other creatures got +1/+0. It created a little bit of crazy combat math, and usually I came out on the advantage. Next card, the card that I was trying to think of, Acolyte of Affliction. Love this card. Not only did I play it in drafts against my friends, and it did a lot of work, I've actually started to build kind of a casual standard deck that's using Undergrowth from Guilds of Ravnica with Escape, and it's doing a pretty good job. I really, really like this card. Next uncommon, Destiny Spinner. I was really, really high on this card because of its static ability. Creature and enchantment spells you control can't be countered. I thought that was going to be really awesome. I've yet to really see it be the power level of an uncommon that I want to see. And its activated ability just hasn't been there. Initially, like I said, I was high on it, but I'm not as high on it as I once was. If I had to choose between Acolyte of Affliction or Destiny Spinner, I'm definitely choosing Acolyte of Affliction. Oh, I must have went too fast and didn't cover... Oh, there's my other uncommon. Boy, I'm horrible at this. Stinging Lionfish. No, was not impressed at all. I could not. I tried one time to get the blue-red kind of draft deck to get going. I could never get it going, and when I did, this was never on the battlefield, and I never really had the opportunity to tap down any of my opponent's creatures. So out of the uncommons, Acolyte of Affliction definitely is the card that I would take. The rare, since I spoiled it already and you got a sneak peek, Ephemia, as Frank Lepore and his friend was saying, cacophony. I think that's what Mike B was saying. Ephemia, the cacophony. 2/1 flyer, legendary enchantment creature, Harpy. When it enters, or at the beginning of the end step, you exile an enchantment and you can create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. This card, I was running the mono black deck. That's the only drawback that I found. I just didn't have enough enchantment creatures to fuel it. I think I got one 2/2 zombie, and then my friend killed it, and it made me really sad. But I think in a build-around deck, especially in casual, I'm really interested to see what I could do with it in sort of a blue-black deck, or even I've seen a couple of black-white decks that feature enchantments. There's one that I've seen going around that I think is pretty inexpensive. So someone like me that likes casual Magic and doesn't want to spend a ton of money, running a black-white enchantment kind of themed deck with Ephemia, I think could work pretty well. And then the final two cards, the cool-looking Swamps. I know a lot of people are down on these, but I really like them. I think they're pretty cool-looking. And then a Goat token. So looking through the pack, my favorite card out of this, or what I'm going to say is the best card that I've found so far, Acolyte of Affliction. I've really, really enjoyed playing it. It's done a lot of work for me, both when I was doing drafts with my friends, and then, like I said, I put it into a kind of a very casual build that's got undergrowth and escape, and it's working wonders. Well, we've cracked the pack, so in the comment section below, share with me, in your opinion, which card was the best one out of the pack and why. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did like it, please subscribe and share. Until next time when I crack another pack, later, most best.